Okay, picture this with me. It's game day, right? And you are there minding your own business. You're kind of tense, sure, but you're mainly excited and filled with anticipation of today. And then out of a sudden, this thought creeps into your mind that goes something like, I think I could have trained more. I could have prepared better for today. Seeing the other team now, I'm not sure I'm ready for this. Actually, it would be a miracle if I won this today. So you have these thoughts, and out of a sudden you can tell like your heart starts racing a bit faster, a bit harder. You start getting antsy. There's this unease, like almost panic creeping, inching through your body, and you can't sit anymore. You have all this nervous energy. You start sweating, and you don't know what to do with yourself. That's a good example of the mind-body connection, where something that happened in your mind had an effect on your body. And mind-body connection is pretty much that. It's the relationship between our mental processes and our physical processes, our mental, quote-unquote, body and our physical body. And that is what I want to talk about with you today. It's a beautiful topic. It's a fun topic. It's an obvious topic. We all know about it. But are we very intentional about it? That's the question, right? So welcome to the Healthy and Aligned podcast. My name is Lisa. I am a mindset and innovation coach for athletes and athletic teams. So I work basically with anyone in the athletic sports world to make sure that their mindset is in a way that supports them to be successful, to reach peak performance, and especially to create a sustainable career in the sports industry, and by doing that, creating a legacy. So I'm excited that you are here. I love the topic of mind-body connection. It's very simple. It's very straightforward, but it's so powerful. And I have mentioned it, maybe not by using these words, but it's a fact in probably most of the episodes that I have recorded for the Healthy and Aligned podcast. So it's that fundamental. So I thought it would be time to kind of like bring it up to the surface and have a bit more intention about it and just a bit more understanding of how things work, because then that will allow us, the more we understand, the easier it is to manage our performance, to manage our mind and our emotions, to be a peak performance, high performance athlete, right? Because that's the ultimate goal. Now, I don't think I need to explain to you really why it is important for athletes to understand the mind-body connection. Because, obviously, it's the bridge between mental processes and the physical state. And athletes are physical performers, right? You are a physical performer. So anything that affects your physical state kind of has to be important to you. Right? So that's it. That's why mind-body connection is so crucial for athletes. And to explain how it works, I want to look a little bit into the neurobiology behind it. So we all know that our brain is the master command center of our body. That's where everything happens. And it also controls our nervous system, right? Our nervous system is basically how let me say it differently. Our nervous system defines our state, how we feel and experience the world. So nervous system is related to fight or flight, for example, or to rest and digest. So there is a sympathetic and a parasympathetic nervous system. And both of them are super important. Both of them are great. Like, we need both of them, and we want to make use of both of them. And they're always balancing each other out. Like, you cannot be fighting and resting at the same time, right? You can only do one or the other. So it's important that we maintain a balance between both of them, because, as I said, both of them are important. So that's the nervous system, right? And depending on where we are, in which state we currently are, we see the world differently. So if I'm in a fight or flight state, I will see more things as a threat, for example, because that's where my mind is at, right? That's what I'm focusing on. Like, ooh, what could come at me now? Or maybe any additional to do that comes on your list feels like such an extra burden, and it's jeopardizing everything else. Like the view that we have is very different when we are in that state versus when we're super chill. We might not recognize every threat actually that is coming our way, or we might not take things seriously enough, or and I'm going to the extremes, of course, but they're there. So you want to make sure that you can be sort of like ambidextrous with your nervous system. You want to be able to use both sides equally, because they are equally important, and know when to activate which part, right? We're in a competition. You want that fight or flight focus and commitment and extra energy that is, unlocked. And when you're in recovery, you want to be in the rest and digest phase. You want to chill, or even after a competition, you want to be able to calm down, to let go of this, to give your body time to recover, time to heal from all the strenuous things that you did before. So both important, and both something that you can manage actively, right? If you know how. Now, let's get back to the mind-body connection. So, what happens if I have a thought? A thought triggers very often an emotion. And an emotion is then what triggers the body to send out a signal to release specific hormones in our body. And those hormones have an effect on our physical state. So, to make it a bit more concrete, let's say you think, oh my God, I can't win today, everything's gonna fail and fall apart, and it's gonna be so embarrassing, and you start getting really anxious, right? The example I said earlier today, you are anxious, and anxiety triggers the brain to release stress hormones, right? So we're going into fight or flight. So that will be cortisol, that will be maybe adrenaline that is released in your body, and that's what makes your body prepare for action, right? Prepare for that fight. So your heart rate goes up, your muscles get tense, you can't sit still, you need to start being active. So that's just what happens, right? So you thought something and it triggered an emotion, and that triggered a physical reaction. Different example. Let's say you have like a calming thought, you think, oh, so it's gonna be fine, I'm so excited, all is going to be good. You maybe have a feeling of gratitude for being there and being excited about the game, and so cool that you get to be part of this experience, and like you have thoughts like that. And that's when you feel content, you feel peaceful, you feel calm, you feel excitement, anticipation, all of these emotions, and the body releases the feel-good hormones. So that would be, for example, serotonin or dopamine, and those hormones then calm your body, and they make you feel like really, really nice in your body, and you're really calm, and your heart rate is super like stable, and not super excited. And yeah, so it can go, like towards both parts of the nervous system if you want. So the concept is very straightforward, right? Thought, emotion, physical reaction. That's like the tick. Thought influences emotion, emotion influences physiological change in your body. That's it. The interesting thing is that we can also flip that. So the mind-body connection, it goes both ways. So if you change your physical state, it will have an effect on your emotions, and those will have an effect on your thoughts. For example, if you go and get a massage, right? You get that beautiful massage. Your body gets like really soft, your muscles start to relax, you're not as tense anymore, and you then start to feel calm, you start to feel peaceful, you start to feel content, like those emotions could come. And then your thoughts are very likely also peaceful, calm, relaxing thoughts, like nothing exciting, nothing that would just, juice you up again. So it goes both ways. We can start with the mind or we can start with the body. And that is also an important thing to understand, because now when we look at how we can influence that mind-body connection and how we can make use of that mind-body connection, knowing that we can come from both ways, it's super helpful. So let's look at coming from the body. Let's start with that. If you want to get out of fight or flight, for example, you want to calm down your body and then, feel good emotions and relaxing thoughts, you could use things like I said before, massages. You could do breath work. You could do anything that relaxes the body. So it could be progressive muscle relaxation. It could be a hot bath or a shower. Maybe you want to do yoga or some like stretching. So all the things that relax the body will then in turn relax the mind. And of course, as I said, you can go the other way around as well. If you're too calm for the situation and you want to have that energy, that hype up, that, you do that with your body. So you do high energy exercises. Maybe you go sprinting, run up and down the apartment if that's all you have, do jumping jacks, like activate your body, activate your physical state, basically get your heart rate up, get you maybe break into a sweat, use all the muscles that you have, and then your mind will be much more activated as well. It's more awake, you're more alert, you're more focused, you are, dialed in the situation because your body is activating that part of your nervous system. And your thoughts will also be less about, I just want to chill, I just want to lay here and relax. And it will be more along the terms of like, okay, let's do this. Let's get it done. Let's, tackle all those to-dos, or let's do that practice or whatever. Even me, I'm right now like hitting my fist in my open palm. That's an activation of the body, of the physical body, to get my emotions and my mind hyped up for action. So it doesn't have to be the 30-minute HIIT workout. That's probably too much, if that's before the practice. It can be small things, but just use the body to activate your emotions and your mind. And right, as I said, use it in the way that you want it. You want to be calm your body. You want to be activated, activate your body. Like sometimes I love to do some activation exercises in the morning. Like if I have a hard time in the morning to get going, it's always very helpful for me to just do some physical movement to like wake my body up, wake my emotions up, and wake my mind up because of this body connection. And the same way goes for a wind down in the evening, like a slow, maybe yin yoga session or like a stretching or a hot bath or something will allow my system, my nervous system to calm down. My physical body is relaxing. My emotions are calmer. My thoughts are calmer. And then I can, potentially have a better night of sleep. So you can just use it to your advantage. That's it. That's that simple. And let's talk about it the other way around. So if we use the mind to then influence the body, because as I said, it goes both ways, right? There are specific things that we can do to basically control, quote unquote, control our mind to activate the body. So one very, very important thing to do is self-awareness. Practice self-awareness. Understand the thoughts that are going through your mind. Have an awareness of what you are thinking. Like, what are thoughts that you keep repeating in specific situations? Like, be aware of your emotions. Like, just understand the inner workings of your mind, pretty much. That is always the first step, because then you can start managing that. First step is observe, create awareness, understand, no judgment, nothing. And then in the next step, you can say like, okay, of these thoughts that I have, which ones are the ones that are helping me and which ones are the ones that are holding me back? And then you can start working with that. So again, if you need to be more active, or you want to, get ready for competition, or, activate your body in a way, you can think thoughts that do that. You can think about the game coming up, or the next tournament that you're facing, or how you actually did in the past practice, and you go into the memory of it. A very, very helpful practice for this is also visualization. So to start visualizing the next competition, or start visualizing the next practice, and make it like a visceral experience where you activate all of your senses. It's like you're there, and that also has an effect then again on your body. I have done an entire episode on the topic of visualization. It's such a cool tool. It is which number is it? 51. So if you want to get more into detail on visualization, I really recommend that episode. It explains basically how to do it, right? And it's such an activation, again, in both directions. So to activate your body, or it could be a tool to also calm you down. So you can visualize different situations where you would have a calm, rest and digest nervous system. Tools you can use other than visualization are affirmations that can help you. You could start journaling, like get your thoughts out and get like a deeper understanding of what is happening inside your mind, inside your brain, and how you feel about specific situations. It could be a gratitude practice, for example, if you want to, have those feel-good hormones in your body. Any type of stress management technique is helpful. So if you have any of those, that's perfect. And again, like with so many other things, we use, for example, when we talk about affirmations, if you work with affirmations, really make them an emotional experience, really make them something that you feel in your body, right? And you can practice that every day. You can do it all the time if you want to. And then when it matters, you can just say that affirmation in your head or out loud, and it will have an effect immediately on your emotions and on your physical state, right? If that's the first time you say it, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but practice those things like you practice any other skill for your craft, for your sport. And that's when it really matters. In the hard times, in the difficult times, in the important moments, you have access to those things without having to consciously trying to figure out how it works again, and lose the focus on the actual competition and be more in your mind trying to practice an affirmation or something. So I really recommend that you try it out. Try out different things, be aware of what you need right now. Like me right now, I need to be calm and relaxed with a little bit of activation. If I'm a bit too chill, I think that this podcast is not going to be fun to consume, right? Like my voice is probably not going to be animated enough. My body language is not going to work, so I cannot be too chill. If I'm too excited, however, I'll probably question everything that I say. I will stumble over my words. I will get upset if I say a word wrong or something like that, So I know exactly sort of which state I want to be in when I record this podcast. And before I press record, I work on that mind-body connection to get me to that state, to get me activated enough, but not too activated, right? And to be confident in my calmness as well, in my relaxation. So every time you do something, you can practice this. Every time you go out, every time you meet someone, every time you are, about to do something, you can think about, okay, what's the state that I need to be in right now? That would be the most beneficial for this activity. And then practice getting yourself there. Whether it is coming from the physical perspective, whether you come from the mind perspective, or whether it's both. I haven't talked about both, have I? Right? Oh, wow. Okay. So I gave you examples from the body perspective, from the mind perspective, but there is also a combination. So if you do, for example, meditation, that is a tool that uses the mind and the body at the same time, for example. Or if you do like a guided visualization practice where you lay down with your body and you're like really, relaxing your body while you are listening to some type of visualization, for example. That would also do both. My favorite technique of all times is tapping. Tapping is a mind-body technique where we tap on specific points on our upper body. So we use the physical perspective of it, and we tap on specific points that are connected to the nervous system. So this is even more pinpointed. This is even more targeted, right? And while we tap on these points, we say statements out loud that influence then our thoughts, and our thoughts again influence our emotions, and we create this connection between our mind and our body about very specific topics. So this is a technique that uses sort of both approaches at the same time. So it's like a combination. And I personally love it. I use it for pretty much everything that I do. And yes, I also tap before I start recording my podcast to get myself on that specific level of activation and relaxation that I need to be. And I upload tapping videos every Sunday on my YouTube channel. So if you want to try it out, just head over to my YouTube channel, unless you're here already, and just tap with me. It's a really fun and powerful method. So yeah, so there we have the three approaches: coming from the body, coming from the mind, and having like a combined approach of using body and mind simultaneously to then be in the state where we want to be. And that is mind-body connection for you. It's, as I said earlier in the introduction, it's nothing super difficult, complex, complicated. No, it's very straightforward. It's very easy, but it is oh so powerful. Knowing how to do this can change the game completely for you. It can change the way you experience life, you experience the world, how you perform, how you show up, how you react. Like it's so powerful. Okay, let's stop it right here. I'm so happy that you are here with me today. If you enjoyed this, if you got any insight from this, make sure that you subscribe so that you stay tuned for all the future episodes that are coming up. The next one is going to be about focus, mastering focus and refocus for that matter. So also a very cool topic and very important topic for any type of athlete to understand and to know more about. So subscribe to the podcast or to my channel, depending on where you consume this. And until then, next Tuesday when we talk about focus, I wish you a beautiful rest of your day.